Oh my god, it's working! Do you wanna see a magic trick? There is no power in, but the PC is on. So everything runs on batteries. If you disconnect this TV and you put a portable screen, you will have a portable gaming desktop. So let's see what's inside. Ta-da! Oh yeah, and it's also water cooled. So what we have here, we have the battery, which is made from recycled laptop batteries. Basically has 24 1850 cells inside. You can see how I built it in this video. From the battery it goes to an XT60 connector, and from the connector it goes to the DC booster. This basically takes the 12 volts from the battery and amplifies them to 24 volts for the nano PSU. From this converter it goes to another XT60 connector and then to a thick cable into the PICO PSU. This is a 360 watt PICO PSU and I got it from eBay. Basically this splits the 24 volts from the battery into 12 volts and 5 volts for the system, and the wires go everywhere. This is the 24 pin connector. This is the connector for the SATA drives, which I have 2 SSDs here. And then this one goes to the CPU. The nice thing about this is that it uses a XT60 connector. So if you don't want to build your own battery, you can just buy batteries like this ones and swap them. So you can have a stock of 5 or 10 and you can take the PC outside and you have a gaming station outside and you just swap batteries. Also you can put here a Y connector, so you will have 2 batteries, and if you remove only one, the PC will still be on. And everything gets tied down with Velcro. So from the battery it goes to the DC to DC converter, and from the DC to DC converter it goes to this thick cable which has an HP plug on this end, and from this plug it goes into the nano PSU. This is a 360 watt power supply. So let's connect everything. First of all, we need to set up the voltage at the exit of the DC to DC converter. So we connect the battery, which has 12.6 volts, and we pray nothing goes boom. Now it's time for measuring. So from the battery we have here 11.6 volts, and after that it gets amplified to 18 volts. We want it to be 24, so let's increase it. Now it's 24. So at this point the build could be called finished. However, every time the battery is discharged, I have to take it out from the case and charge it outside with this LiPo charger, which is very inconvenient, especially because I'm lazy. I need to fix this somehow. There are a few criteria that I need to accomplish in order to make it more comfortable to use. The first one, it's to be able to charge the battery while it's inside the case and with the same power adapter from the wall. The second one is to be able to power on the PC from the wall with an AC power supply. The third one is that when the power goes off, the PC needs to switch automatically to the battery mode and act like an UPS. And the fourth one is to be able to use the PC while the battery is charging. So I will put now on the screen the scheme that I came up with, and after that I will show you the actual physical components, which is all this. So this is the battery charging mode with the switch off. We have 220 AC from the wall going to the power supply, transforming 24 volts. Then this goes to a DC to DC converter and gets transformed to 12.6 volts. Then it charges the battery, and from the battery it gets into another DC to DC converter. It gets transformed to 24 volts, and then it goes to PICO PSU. And this is when we remove the wall power. This is the UPS mode with the switch on. We have 220 volts AC from the wall transforming to 24 volts DC, and then it goes through the switch into the PICO PSU. All the battery circuit is short out. And this is when the wall power is removed. So we have the AC to DC power supply. This is a power supply used for LEDs. I could have get one for laptops, but I mean, look at these prices. Look. It's too much. As you can see, I've put an AC plug at one end, a specific computer one, and a DC out. This is a 220 volts AC in and 24 volts 15 amps DC out. This is the DC plug, a common XT60 connector. From the wall we plug in directly into this, and also I will have to build a case for it and replace this fan. Like I said, it's very noisy. In the case I will basically have only this, the in and the out, put outside the case. Probably I will buy a plastic case, a project case or something like that. From the DC out, the 24 volts out, I've put an extension cable. It has male on one side, female at one side. I'll plug in the female here. And now this is our 24 volts exit. So that's the wall part. Now we have the battery. This is the battery that I've built in the previous video. Link is in the description. We have a male XT60 connector here and a balance lead. It has integrated protection for short circuit, for over discharge and overcharge as well. Now we have two exits, two voltages. We have 12 volts from the battery and we have 24 from the power supply. We need to connect them somehow. Now we have a DC to DC converter. This looks quite old because it is, but it's still working. I'm using it to charge the battery. So on this side we have the 24 volts from the power supply from the wall, and this one goes to the battery and it has a voltage of 12.6 volts. So in order to connect the battery, I've built this white cable. This is the 12.6 volts entry. This will go to the battery, and this is the exit, the new exit from the battery. So let's connect it like this. Out. And then it goes into the battery. And now we have this exit for the battery. So we have 12.6 volts here. And we have 24 here. So we need to connect the 24 from the power supply to this entry. But we also need another exit from the 24 volts in order to power on directly the PICO PSU. So for that I've built another Y cable. This will plug in here. 124 volts goes here. So we have 24 and we have 12. Now we have the big DC to DC booster. This will take the voltage from the battery and amplify it to 24 volts, and a constant 24 volts for the PICO PSU. So we connect the exit of the battery to the in of the DC boost converter, and now here we have 24 volts, here we have 24 volts again. We need to link them somehow and to connect them to the PICO PSU, which is this. And now it will be easier to start from the other end with the PICO PSU. Basically we need the 24 volts in, and we have the HP cable, plugs in here. We have a XT60 female connector here. So this one needs to get 24 volts. In order to unite these voltages, I've built this Y connector, which will plug in here. And one side will be from the big DC to DC boost converter, coming here. As you can see, the PSU it's on already. And for the other side, I've built this extension, which basically needs to take the 24 volts from here and take it here, but with the switch. So this switch, it's the one who turns the system into a UPS mode or a battery charging mode. So basically this is the entire circuit. Now we have to fit all this into the Silverstone case. This solution is temporary. Well, everything is working now. As you can see, the fan is spinning. Nothing gets plugged in the back. So it's basically working on batteries. And now if we plug in the power supply, well, nothing blew up. So now we need to switch to battery charging mode. Now basically it's charging the battery. And now it's in power supply mode. As you can hear, the fan is very loud. So I will change it. And if it is connected, it will still run. So as you can see here, the power is out. It's running on batteries now. I only have connected the HDMI cable. And I have a tablet here with a stopwatch, and you can see it's 1801. And now I will actually start the timer to see how long the battery will last. Okay, let's hit start and let's run Heaven benchmark. I hope it will last at least 30 minutes. If it's 30 minutes, I'm happy. See you at the end.
I've been watching you. Just come to
And 30 minutes. Woo! Okay, so it lasted almost 51 minutes. Not bad, almost doubled at what I hoped. That was for gaming. I just left the timer running and I powered on again the computer. So it's 3 minutes later and now we will have some videos on YouTube. Let's see for how long it can last.
it will be their
I guess this is it. We had almost 1 hour of YouTube videos and almost 42 minutes of benchmarking, so I'm very satisfied with the result.